Thanks for, again, nothing, Heather.
Thanks for nothing,
Go on, girl.
Heather.
Give us nothing.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, I'm Ramona Ramirez Higgins.
Happy
Hi.
2026.
Happy 2026.
It's happening. We're doing it.
We are doing it. We are doing it.
It's
Yes.
a fresh new year
It's a fresh new year.
for us, not for the ladies of Salt Lake City who are still trapped in the stories of this season.
Their stories, period. So much. I don't know how to describe what they've got going. Just a lot of unprocessed shit, a lot of unprocessed, unexamined coping skills that manifest in a way that makes so many of their behaviors abhorrent and repellent.
Yeah.
And it makes me real grateful. You know what, Lisa Barlow? I live a really different life than you, and it isn't about money. I live a really different life than you. And I realize the tone in my voice makes me sound like a real bitch when I say it. And if I'm 110% honest, if I really am being clean, yeah, I have some judgment around her.
I mean, the tone in her voice when she first said it had a lot of fucking
It did,
bitchy attitude in
but
it.
like
So.
I should know better. Like I work hard to not be like Lisa. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to fucking go off on that. I'm just saying we could all be Lisa. We could all be Lisa if we don't check ourselves.
But I did think it was interesting what she said at the end, you know, that finally gave some context to why she's such a nightmare. And it's that Mormon upbringing. She's like, a lot of pressure was put on me to take care of my sisters. And so I put pressure on myself. I put pressure on everyone around me. And I'm a rotten bitch who likes things. I don't know what happened under that roof, but it sounds like a Mormon story we may have heard before, where the parents go to church and the kids are left to raise each other. And that can go left in a lot of weird ways.
See, I thought she was raised Jewish and didn't do Mormonism until she was a grown-up.
Well, then.
You know what? I felt so validated last night after I watched the episode for the first time. On Watch What Happens Live, Angie and John Oliver were guests. John Oliver, yes.
Oh my God, I love it.
And one of the questions that Andy asked people to send in their answers or send in, like, you know, when he does the polls.
Yes.
You know, he's
polls.
like, vote. So one of the questions was, do you think that after what Lisa said that, you know, she's changed? What did she, something like that. Like, did you buy it, basically? And the majority of the people that answered agreed with me, like, fuck no. The whole time she was saying that stuff, I'm like, this is utter bullshit. John Oliver also thought it was utter bullshit. I encourage you and anybody to watch it for John Oliver alone.
I believed her in the moment when she was saying it, and 20 seconds after she closed her mouth, she was up on her feet defending Meredith. So, like, no, I don't believe that she's a changed person or that she will change. But I always am curious about the context of people's bullshit. And
same.
So I guess I was trying to seek that out in a moment of perceived vulnerability from her, because she's just been all catty bullshit this entire season of just like, deny. I don't care. Fuck you guys. I have my own life. And finally she said something that was lightly relatable of like, I put a lot of pressure on myself. And I don't think it's like the kind of pressure that other people put on themselves, but I believe she's tortured.
Oh, I believe she's tortured.
Yeah. And I think that's why you try to fill your life with things and that you choose to defend nightmarish people, because she doesn't know what friendship is. She thinks that's friendship, but she's insane.
It's all working for her. Like when she was like, I work hard, and she just completely bypassed the privilege she's been afforded in her life. Just that, I just work hard. Like, I'm so tired of like, well, you just work hard and achieve your dreams. I'm all, that is so fucking bullshit.
It helps to have a launching pad.
It helps to have a launching pad.
It really does.
And the launching pad isn't just cash, FYI.
No.
You know, the first thing I thought was like, oh, you're going to talk about equity now? I have very little tolerance for, it doesn't matter. When do I ever have tolerance? But I'm just saying that, like, it just seems like the state of the world I have to remind myself I'm watching a show on Bravo, and this is what I sign up for when I watch a show on Bravo. I sign up for watching personalities that don't necessarily live their lives or want to live their lives the way that I want to live mine and feel is a kind and just way to live. And if I'm in a place where I'm particularly triggered, which I am, there are some things in my life right now that feel particularly out of my control. And when I can't control things, and one of my biggest triggers is people getting away with shit, like I see Lisa Barlow and Meredith do, it's not like a normal level of enrage. It's a deep-seated trauma response level of rage. It is not like a casual viewer, like, oh my God, Lisa's nuts. It's like, fuck you, you fucking bitch. I hope you suffer. So when I heard John Oliver agreeing with me last night, unbeknownst to him, it fed that petty need in me. I'm not wrong. We all see you. You're not getting
Yeah.
away with it, you know?
No, and again, like anything, an explanation is not a justification.
No.
I'm always just curious, like, and I think I had this little softening brief toward Lisa that went away almost immediately. But Heather Gay was on an after show a couple episodes ago, and she was talking about how Lisa gets glam because Lisa's eyesight is going and she can't see to do her makeup. And as someone whose eyesight is like a little wonky, and sometimes I'll look in the mirror and be like, oh, whoa, you got that wrong. I was like, oh, that's too bad. But then 5 seconds later, I was like, you're on a fucking reality show, ma'am. Tell us that. Say I get glam everywhere I go because I can't see. Again, whether it's true or not, if she's going to be a reality star, she could stand to tell us the truth on that front if it's true. And if it's not, then she's just a dick. But whatever. She's not as bad as Meredith. As far as I'm concerned, like Meredith is hopeless. She was so awful in this episode.
I think they're two peas.
I just think Meredith has like an addiction sickness. And there's just, you can't reach someone like that. I think Lisa still has a conscience, even though it's like she never makes a good choice around it. Meredith is just gone. She's completely self-serving. It's over. Someone said it at the end, like it's more important for her to look good than to have friends, period.
I feel the same way about Lisa. I feel like whereas she might not be dabbling in a substance, a mind-altering substance.
She's Al-Anon. She's attached to the addict.
Well, she is attached to the addict, but I also think she's so attached, like she's got that addiction to image. She's got this other thing that there might not be a rehab or a 12-step room for. I guess maybe it would be Al-Anon.
It is
then,
Al-Anon
right?
because she thinks she's being a good friend to Meredith. She wants to present as a good friend to Meredith. So all she cares about is what that looks like. And it's not fueled by drugs or alcohol, but it's fueled by the same fucking broken place. But it was an ugly performance by the both of them.
The both of them. I just, I think about the chronic lateness and the smugness and the labels and the arguing about the Porsche. That to me seems as destructive and repellent as Meredith's behavior, regardless of like whatever they take to like alter their minds. Lisa alters her mind with being surrounded by, what was it, Gucci bags, when they were getting ready to go to
packing
Greece.
Scene, yes.
Yeah, and
ridiculous.
like I'm so different than you. Like it feels almost like pathological with her. Just like you could put down like substance use disorder on Meredith's claim form to submit to insurance from her therapy session. Lisa's could be like narcissism. I don't know. I didn't even buy her tears at the end. Her little explanation, it didn't even go deep. I feel like it was performative.
It didn't go deep, but I don't think Lisa runs very deep. Where Meredith, I think, knows what she's doing completely. And she is just never not trying to manipulate the room or the viewers or the cameras or whatever, her castmates. She's just always working some kind of scam. And Lisa, I think, is like kind of dopey and just bounces from one crisis to the next. You think she's orchestrated?
I think they are 100% mirrors of each other. Neither of them say they're sorry, like for real.
No, you're right. That's for sure.
When the descriptions of Whitney were being thrown around, like, listen, I'm not like Whitney's #1 fan on the sidelines, But
To call her a loose woman was a bit of a
that
bridge.
was criminal and disgusting. Again, it all feeds into this image. And people might like hear what I'm about to say and be like, oh, give it up or whatever. But I'm saying if you look deep, Lisa is so committed to white supremacy, that image of perfection and class and money and where you are in society and calling someone a loose woman, like, oh my fucking God, what year are we in?
Oof.
Someone like her is just as damaging to her children, to her marriage, to her community, to the viewers, to her castmates as Meredith's whatever she has going on.
Yeah. I wonder if we have another Dorit on our hands where like it's going to take the implosion of this image for some version of a real human to emerge. Because Dorit was just like an annoying paper doll until PK came out as an addict. And then she told everyone he's an alcoholic and he's horrible and he's been absent and I've been covering him. And we all are pretty sure that he orchestrated a burglary that traumatized her for life. I feel like Lisa's headed toward that inevitable end. You can't sustain a lie like that forever. It's not true. We see how John looks at her and talks to her. They're not doing great. And she's a partner in that. So it's all weird.
It is weird.
And I react strongly also to being, like we've talked about a million times, of being people who try to sell us a bag of goods, you know, as if we're fucking morons. It's like, Meredith, you can say your marriage is perfect all you want, but it's been years of both of you guys being called out for doing shit, and that's fine. Just don't say it's perfect. Don't say it's stronger than it's ever been. Like,
Dude.
How dumb do you expect us all to be? That we're
Yeah.
just going to fucking gobble down a pile of shit because you called it ice cream? Like,
That's
shut
exactly
up.
what she thinks she's going to do. And I, again, do not get away with shit. Do not get away with
Yeah.
shit when it comes to me. Take it somewhere else because
Right?
I am not here to buy that.
Same.
Fuck you. I think before we go on, it's going to be strange to talk about Mary in this episode after watching the documentary.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I don't know that there was any. Were there bombshells? I don't remember. There was one episode that I had to fast forward like a lot through. I was like, I'm not doing this. I don't need to watch this if I can't stomach it. But it had me wondering last night as I was watching last night's episode. I can have so much judgment around myself, like talking about these people when they are so terrible in real life. They're so terrible. And I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I don't know what I'm going to do with those feelings that I have. I mean, I made no fucking secret the years that we've been doing this podcast, how I feel about people that are problematic. I know where I stand. And I don't excuse shitty behavior. Am I just talking about people at face value? Like if I know nothing about their background, nothing about who they vote for, nothing about whatever, like how do I talk about them? How do I talk about Mary now that the documentary's out? How do I talk about any of them? Can I just give myself the gift of just watching Bravo? It's just something I'm thinking about. I'm not willing to give it up. Another person might be like, that's pretty fucked up that you watch these shows.
Yeah, but I guess part of what I like about Bravo is, and part of why I started watching the very first franchise, The Real Housewives of Orange County, is because I don't have contact with people like that, but they exist right next to me. And I don't think it's wise for me to pretend like my world can and should only be filled with people who think like me, believe like me. It's like, it's so limiting and it's not real. It's why I get like
Yeah.
upset all the time by shit people do, because it's as if like I expect everyone, as my therapist says, like your way is not the right way for everyone. And I lose sight of that on a weekly fucking basis. And Bravo brings me back into the real world of like, I absolutely disagree with a lot of what these people say and do. And I think there was no better advocate for Meredith's health than Mary in this episode. She's the only one who exhibited any courage. And you know why? Because her son is dying of this disease right now. And he's in prison because of it, where she's glad he is because there's nowhere safer for her sick son to be. That's heartbreaking. Whatever her politics, and it does not excuse how she's abused her position in that church, or marrying her relative or whatever the fuck. Like, there's a lot of mess there. But I also, if I do to other people what I hate them doing to me, which is deciding who I am in black and white, and I don't get to have any fucking gradation of gray, then I'm immediately dead to half the population. And that's like, there's nothing worse than being invisible and dismissed, you know? So if I feel that way, then maybe it's useful for me to focus on like where the humanity crosses over, even if it's ever so lightly.
Yeah.
And like Lisa, I relate to being someone in a misguided friendship where I've attached myself to someone who sucks, but I love them, I think. And so I defend them stupidly, but I don't figure it out till I fucking figure it out. And thank God my friends don't turn their backs on me, you know, when I've made a dumb choice like that. Anyways.
I don't know how that relationship recovered after the hot mic moment heard around the world. I think they're trauma bonded. I'm not trying to make light of that term, but that's why I'm saying they're mirrors of each other. Like
I think you're right.
Who else is going to take the other one?
Well, and again, we've talked about it before. I think it's mutually assured destruction. If one of them turns on the other and tells the truth, the other one will turn on them and they're both going to go fucking down. And I don't know what it is, if it's legal or personal or what the information is they have on each other. They're bonded in a fucked up way. It's not because they genuinely love and care about each other and wish for each other's well-being. Something else, something sinister is at play there.
Yeah. It's so fucking wild, man. These shows are so wild.
It's weird.
They sign up to do this. They sign up to show themselves because they're so convinced of their shit and how like fine it is.
Or that
staggering.
all the dum-dums watching their boob tubes, they'll never figure it out. It's like, well, you're not as smart as you think you are, even though you're a lawyer, Meredith. You have shown yourself. And you gave the editors no choice. This whole season has been about what happened on the plane because they couldn't talk about anything else. The cast is absolutely consumed by your madness.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, John Oliver also demands that he's like, as Bravo fans, we should be allowed to see this. We need release the surveillance tape. Didn't think I could love John Oliver more. And then I saw him on Watch What Happens Live. And I'm like, I love this man.
He's the best.
He's the best. He is. God.
But you know what I love about his show is he tells an unabashed truth, which is often like really painful and very sad. And at the end of every show, there's a call to action. So you don't just sit in the shit. It's like, if you too have a problem with what I've talked about today, here are people to call. Here are organizations to get invested in financially or with your time. Because I think part of my concern about just like writing off parts of the population is it's like, it's so bleak. It's like, well, then what? Or what if there winds up being more of them than there are of me? And then I just become dirt. It just feels like existence is too sad if there's not some way to like try to make an effort to right the wrongs or
what is that thing that you said the other day, that song lyric, I'm in bed with a bitch called Hope or something?
What is that? Stranded with this bitch called Hope.
Right. Yay, Hope. And also, God damn.
No, it's true. I'm so stranded with her. My God.
Jesus,
she won't get off my ass.
She will not get off my ass. Oh, God bless. Thank you, Hope.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love the word for hope in Spanish. It's so beautiful, and it can be a woman's name, Esperanza.
Ooh.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is. I love that. It sounds like spirit and aspiration. It sounds like, it's so
I'm
vital.
Pretty sure that's what it called. I'm pretty sure.
I'll take it. Listen, I don't know.
That speak Spanish are all, bitch, it doesn't mean that. I'm pretty sure it does.
Well, it doesn't mean loose woman. That much I know.
Fucking
so we're on
it. She's so gross, man.
She's so gross.
Oh, God.
And she was so delighted with herself when she said that. And I was just like, you're a terrible person.
She's all, putana. I'm like,
hell.
dude, go straight to hell. You piece of shit. You piece of shit. We are here to talk about The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 20, Sisters of Salt, A Greek Tragedy. I liked seeing some theater. I haven't done any Greek theater like that since college.
I do so admire people who can commit to that format. Because I was so bad at that shit in college because it makes me laugh. I can't seriously just like move my arms around in a silky gown to indicate what the narrator is saying. I feel insane. So to
I
watch,
felt stupid doing that.
so maybe that's the word. But to watch this whole chorus of women absolutely invest in this stupid yet profound Housewives rundown was fascinating to me. Fascinating.
God bless you, Stella.
We open on this play performance of the Sisters of Salt with the narrator saying what the world did not see was the war. And then we get a quick series of shots of the women fighting and crying. And then we're out of that and we cut to like more gorgeous Santorini B-roll. My God, I cannot get enough of Greece. And we get the little chyron that tells us 12 hours earlier. So we know we're headed toward a big old fight at the end of this episode. And it's morning at the villa. It's their last day in Greece. And it starts right away with like this whole episode was like an immersion in alcoholic Al-Anon relationship dynamics. And we start in the kitchen with Meredith trying to engage Mary in superficial conversation. And Mary is so uncomfortable trying to play along with like everything's okay. Because Mary, of all people, is so like really has a desperate life and death concern for Meredith. And so with Meredith going like, I hope it's a great day because it's our last one here. And Mary's like, yeah, sure. It'll be great. And she can't even look at her.
That entire cast, as they all walked into the kitchen and saw Meredith, they were like, oh shit. And so everyone was like bracing themselves. Everything was dependent on Meredith's mood. If that isn't a fucking clue that you're the problem, like if people are having to walk on eggshells until they figure out like what's headspace is she in, that's something to work on. That was so straight up alcoholic household shit. One person, all of these adults, all
in
these
Greece,
adult women
on vacation,
in Greece on vacation
are on a high alert for like
wearing bedhead fucking pajamas with dogs all over them. They were on high alert around one cast member, one woman.
You could see in Meredith's eyes the controlling nature of her conversation. She was like, well, it's our last day, as her eyes are like dead and like boring into Mary, being like, do not fuck this up. We're having a good day because I said so. You know, it's joyless and terrifying as she expresses her excitement for the last day in Greece.
So joyless and terrifying. God. Oh, scary.
And then poor Angie enters and she has this giant bruised and swollen lip from running into a man who was carrying a tray of glassware the day before. And, you know, we're really getting a look at Angie's accident-prone nature in these past few episodes of getting a finger slammed in the yacht door and a face cut in Greece. And she's about to tumble down some stairs. It's a bunch. And we learned that the plan for today is lunch with Angie's cousin. And then tonight is Stella's play. So Stella is a playwright who Angie has found who will come by to interview all of the women about themselves and about each other. And then she will write a play about the women in the style of ancient Greek theater. So that's happening. It's so dramatic and amazing. Production-wise, what a genius storyline of like, you're going to tell this woman who you think you are and who you think other people are. And she's going to compile basically who everyone thinks you are and put it on stage for you to look at. It's great.
I was very entertained by it. Very entertained. Stella was not having it. Stella was not having it from Lisa Barlow. And I was so excited.
For anyone. She seems like a very serious woman. And this is a very unserious assignment, but it was great.
So Bronwyn, in her confessional, she says she's weirded out by Meredith acting all easy breezy, like a Maybelline ad.
Ugh, which is CoverGirl. That made me so, I was like, the 1980s television watching ad girl in me was like, it's Maybelline and easy breezy, beautiful CoverGirl. Anyways, moving on. I could not, I got like obsessed with that. I was like, how could she not know?
My favorite mascaras are CoverGirl, and I recently ran out of a foundation that's CoverGirl that I absolutely loved. So just here to say that.
Do you want to name them? Is it Big Lash?
No, it is the CoverGirl Lash Blast.
Lash Blast.
In very black. I love it. Lengthens and thickens. Does not clump. And then the something clean and whatever. P.S. Don't come to me with your clean makeup bullshit. give me the fucking preservatives so my shit doesn't go moldy in a month. So hand me all the parabens, spoon food them in my fucking mouth. I love a preservative. So anyway, it's called Clean something. But it's in a color called ultramarine black. So it's like a dark, dark, dark blue black. I love it. And then I don't remember the name of the foundation, but it's something for
Great.
dry skin. Anyway, sorry, no one called for that.
I did. Ramona's like kind of a cosmetics and like aesthetic, EST, esthetician expertise.
So to bring this back to therapy, me being someone that hates when people think that they can pull one over on me, the only reason why I got into skincare is because, I saw Paula Be Gone on Oprah. Like, oh my God, this is so fucking long ago. Like 20 years ago, maybe longer. I don't know, remember. My point is that she wrote a book called Don't Go to the Cosmetics Counter Without Me. She's like, I worked in the makeup and the skincare industry for so long. It's all marketing. It's all bullshit. I'm going to teach you how to read a label, and then you can buy stuff at the drugstore. And I was like, sign me the fuck up for that. That's how I got into skincare. And then I became a makeup artist. And the thing that people don't know about drugstore makeup as opposed to department store makeup is that drugstore makeup has even gone through more processes to like make sure that it's high quality. My point is that you don't have to get stuff at the department store. If you like it, great. But just please do not go into a department store thinking you're buying higher quality stuff. You're not. You're buying marketing. And it's a billion upon $1 billion a year industry, the beauty industry. And it's just so fucking unregulated. And anyway. How did we get here? Maybelline.
I don't remember. Maybelline.
CoverGirl.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Maybe it's Maybelline. And she said Easy Breezy, which is CoverGirl. Okay. So anyways, Bronwyn's weirded out.
Hours ago, like in the middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, Meredith had texted Bronwyn. She summoned Bronwyn to her room in like the middle of the night. And Bronwyn said she was paranoid and spinning out of control, that everyone was out to get her. And we see the security camera footage of Bronwyn racing to Meredith's room at like 1:30.
And it's significant because Meredith waited till cameras went down. So everyone was up and like hanging out until 1:15. And then when everyone went to their rooms, that's when she called Bronwyn and was like, get in here and tell me what people were talking about at lunch.
So Bronwyn ends her confessional saying, now Meredith's fine. Everything's great. The birds are singing. Coffee is flowing. Meredith's alive. Happy to live. What?
That is life with an alcoholic, honey. And it's always in the morning where they're just like, hey, what's up? And it's like, oh, there's like a mess from everything you did last night. But okay, what's up?
Totally.
And Heather and Whitney are sitting by the pool and they are sort of concurring that Meredith is, it's weird that she's acting all sunshine and roses this morning. And then they note that at least we're going deep now because apparently last night on the Sprinter van, Lisa demanded they all go deeper with their friendships. And she's accusing everyone of hiding themselves and pointing fingers at others instead of telling the truth about themselves. And Heather rightly points out, like, Lisa's the most shallow in the group. And Whitney's like, we've been begging her to go deep. Like that was an insane outburst that she had on the Sprinter van, which we did see in flashback footage, where she's screaming at everyone going like, you all point fingers at each other and nobody tells the truth. And Heather in her confessional is like, all I've done is tell the truth and bleed out for these women over the years. So Lisa can take that judgmental eye and turn it back on herself.
I mean, the audacity.
Right?
The absolute utter disconnect. I mean, talk about pointing a finger and having every single fucking finger on the entire planet and maybe an extraterrestrial finger like point fucking back at you and say, excuse me? Excuse me?
But this is where I think she and Meredith are in so deep together. I think Lisa made a vow to protect Meredith no matter what. I think this is her trying to put the blame on everyone else, being like, stop pointing fingers. You tell the truth, which is saying like, stop talking about Meredith. You share something about yourself because you're all just displacing the focus on someplace it doesn't matter. And it's like, but it does matter because she freaked out on a plane in such a big, profound way that no one can get over it. It was bad.
Yeah.
So shut up, Lisa.
Please, God, shut up. So Bronwyn visits Mary in her room. She wants to go in there and kind of like download what the fuck she just, went through in the middle of the night compared to this morning. And we learn that Mary does not sleep in the bed because she does not know who's been in those covers. Listen, I have a shoe-free house. I'm reluctant. I hate it. I don't like fucking taking off my shoes at the door and then putting on another pair of shoes to walk around the house. I hate it. I hate it.
It's better than tracking dried dog
That's the
piss
thing.
through your fucking living spaces.
It didn't hit me till I moved to San Francisco. We lived in San Francisco. When I would walk the streets of downtown, the thought of what my shoes had walked through, like human bodily fluids, dog bodily fluids, who knows what else, that's enough. And then to track it inside my house, well, that's disgusting. Like, why would I do that? So when I go to hotel rooms, if the hotel doesn't have the slippers, I bring my own shoes to wear in the hotel room because, like, I don't want my feet on that funk, on that carpet. So
And the
that I can
carpet's always like
understand, but
gray, so it like sort of like it's there to disguise whatever was tracked
it's
in.
like movie theater
ugh.
carpet.
Yep.
This can handle a beating and you're still going to look like just carpet. But covers, and then I thought, oh my God, they don't change the duvets in between guests, just the covers. That is kind of disgusting. But I just chose not to think about it anymore because then what am I going to do? I'm never going to go anywhere, and I'm not going to not go anywhere. So
If I was Mariah Carey and I could send my own personal bedding ahead of me everywhere I went, along with someone to buy flowers to fill the hotel and wipe down everything with Lysol, great. But I can't. And so I just go places like a person because I have to.
yeah,
If I could be fucking crazy, I would be. But then I'd be Mary and I'd be like sleeping, sitting up in a chair instead of like being in a big cozy bed in Santorini, for fuck's
I
sake.
know, dude.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and to bring it back to Bravo, like Lisa Rinna goes ham with some antibacterial wipes when she gets into a hotel room, and that's me when I get on a plane.
I do it on a
Seat
plane
back,
and in the hotel room.
handles, armrests, like anything I'm going to possibly touch, or anything my iPad's going to touch, my water bottle. Like, people are disgusting.
People are disgusting.
People are disgusting. Grown men leave the bathroom all the fucking time. They're walking out as I hear the toilet flush. You're disgusting. I see grown people coughing with their fucking mouths wide open. Like, no.
The airport is an amazing place. I was in the Denver airport a couple times over the holidays and like I was shocked. I'm like, have you no shame? This airport
Nobody
is
has
packed.
shame.
It's the holidays. Put your fucking shoes on. Get your bare feet off this fucking carpet. Put your fucking face in your elbow. Like, what are we doing? It's winter. Everyone has the flu. Like, don't be that guy. So I'm like 90% Lysol and I'm always in a mask and I'm just like, everyone's gross.
Yeah, everyone's disgusting.
And the pee on the floor, like
Oh,
that kind of,
God.
I'm just like, how? What is wrong with everyone? Okay, anyways.
So many
literally,
things.
that's not what you
This
called.
episode has really triggered a lot in the both of us, I think. Anyway. So Bronwyn tells Mary that Meredith summoned her to her room at 2 a.m. and she was asking about what they talked about at the lunch that the three of them had. And I didn't know there was an episode on last week, so you and I didn't make any plans to record. And it was also like we would have had to record either on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. And like, anyway. So everyone, thank you so much for the grace and generosity you afforded us for Margie and I to take a much needed break over the holidays. We also hope that you had a much needed break over the holidays. My point is, on last week's episode, Mary, Whitney, and Bronwyn had a lunch where they discussed their concerns about Meredith. And Bronwyn is telling Mary that Meredith summoned her to her room to get the goods on what the three of them talked about at that lunch. We see the flashback where Mary says, I think Meredith needs help. I'm concerned.
That lunch was actually pretty impactful. That was Whitney and Mary, and both of them were like moved to tears because they both have addicts in their life. And it's undeniable the similarities between their very sick family members and Meredith. And that it was heartbreaking because I really see Mary seeing, like, in the big book, they say addiction leads to the gates of insanity or death.
Bruh.
Without treatment, that's it. Those are the options. And I think Mary is really in touch with that. And it's literally breaking her heart.
Yeah. So Mary tells Bronwyn calling you to her room at 2 o'clock in the morning is paranoid behavior. And she looks visibly and palpably stricken and worried. Now, this, again, after watching that documentary, I'm like, wow, is Mary just the best actress on the planet? Did she get a taste of her rehabbed image and the way the fans responded to that last season and now this season, like she's doing it even more? Like, I don't trust her at all. I'm just trying to practice being in the what is she doing in the terms of this show that I'm watching, not what she does outside of this show.
I don't even think it's in terms of this show. I think all of this is in terms of her son.
Okay.
Like, I don't think
All right.
anything that she's talking about is informed by anything other than witnessing her son in the throes of addiction and how fucking dark it gets and how low a bottom can get. And Meredith is not at a bottom. She's still presenting okay and keeping her job and everything. She's a fucking functional addict. And
Yeah.
Mary knows that shit doesn't last. If you don't get help, you fucking Shannon Bedore it or worse, you know?
Ugh.
I don't know. I'm worried too. Something's the matter. And someone eventually will catch her on video freaking out, or you know what I mean? It's just like it's a matter of time. And it makes me anxious, like just thinking about it. Anyways. Then we sort of get to Bronwyn's, like the crux of Bronwyn's issue in this episode and in her life. Bronwyn in her confessional says, Meredith and I have an increasing problem where I think showing up as a friend for Meredith is telling her things that are helpful to her. And then we're reminded that she told Meredith about the women talking about her drinking and acting out on the plane. And she told Meredith about Britani drinking and throwing up on the yacht. And again, we all saw that episode. Britani clearly was seasick. And yes, she was drinking, but no, she's not. Her character and personality does not change when she's drunk. She's just as dumb drunk as she is sober. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
But Meredith spun that into spreading rumors about Britani being an alcoholic, which is classic alcoholic behavior, to point the finger at everyone fucking else and try to get the focus off of you. And so Bronwyn now is really clear that Meredith is using her and the things she says to get at the other women. And Bronwyn just says, I don't like that.
I'm glad she finally woke up to it.
Yeah. But I've been in that position before. Again, it's like insidious. It feels like connection. And as Bronwyn
It
later shares
does.
with us, she doesn't know what loyalty is because no one demonstrated it for her. So she's trying to figure out what it is. And this felt like it. And it's not. But she sure took a swing in this direction.
So Mary tells Bronwyn that it's not right for Meredith to do that to you. She's wrong. And in her confessional, Mary says, Meredith and I have been friends for years, and I've seen her change. She doesn't want to hear anything. She feels like she's being attacked. She feels paranoid. It comes across as she's breaking down, and it's very alarming.
Yes.
No notes. Yeah.
Yes. True.
And then Mary tells Bronwyn, let her know you feel uncomfortable and you feel a little compromised. Just be honest. It's all you can do. Oh, Mary. Like, I hate that. Yeah, like these wisdom things are coming from you, and yet, Jesus Christ. Anyway.
I did not watch the documentary, but I can only assume it's all
Yeah.
terrible things.
Yeah.
Then we very quickly get the confrontation between Bronwyn and Meredith, who's wearing the weirdest tennis skirt and long sleeve scuba top, sitting on a balcony. Like she's in all black, sitting on a balcony in Santorini. I don't know. It just looked crazy. So Bronwyn joins her on this little veranda outside and confronts her. She's like, I just want to make sure I'm not being used. When you call me to your room at 2 a.m. for me to download information about a lunch, I'm a little confused. And Meredith says, like, well, that didn't happen. And Bronwyn does what all of us do before going to Al-Anon, where we look shocked and then try to explain the truth to someone who knows the truth but is never going to meet you there. And she's like, that's exactly what happened. Meredith then paints herself as a fucking hero, claiming that Bronwyn came to her concerned about what this play is going to be about tonight. And so I was comforting her, calming her anxiety about what might turn up on the stage this evening. And it's like, okay, that's crazy.
My
It's
God.
so false. It's insane.
So Bronwyn lights her up and she tells Meredith, listen, I've been the lone person to stand up for you. Even Lisa said things about you, which we all saw. We've seen. This is not the first season we've seen Lisa do this. Oh, God, she's just so repugnant. She asks Meredith, are you lying or do you not remember? Or are you gaslighting the shit out of me right now? And she tells Meredith that you listen, you've been using me and you sold me out and I'm done. And in her confessional, Bronwyn says, good luck with one of the other bitches. They don't have your back like I did, and I don't have it anymore either, which is, again, the standard textbook trajectory when you are bottoming out on your own relationship with the addict. This is when you start hitting your own respective rock bottom. You know,
Yeah.
like, oh, shit, I can't, like, be in denial about the reality of this person anymore.
And all of the resentment that comes with all
Oh,
of the
God,
energy you
yes.
put into trying to take care of them and help them and support them. And she actually yelled that in Meredith's face. She was like, good luck with any of the other bitches. They'll never have your back like I did. And I don't have your back anymore. Go fuck yourself.
Dealing with an addict or insert whatever here, when you're coming to them in earnestness with facts and feelings and I statements, and you are summarily and systematically blown off. I'll speak for myself. Like your voice raises like you're desperate. You're desperate to get through. You're desperate to get through to one nodule in that person's brain that will connect your humanity and make you feel like you're not fucking nuts. And that's the thing inherent in the relationship with an active alcoholic or sometimes a sober alcoholic, depending on where they are working their program or whatever they're doing. This is the natural trajectory. You yell, so you lose your cool and your composure, and the other one's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. And you're just like, I'm fucking insane. You're constantly in the twilight zone.
Yes.
With someone like Meredith. Constantly.
They do all the things. So in these notes, I put in bold all of the alcoholic tactics that Meredith uses, and she knocks them all out of the park in this one afternoon and evening. It's
All
amazing to me.
Yeah.
And I hope it's leading to her bottom, but it didn't feel like it, quite honestly.
Not at all.
Now we get into the Sprinter van on the way to lunch, and Meredith is doing that
Oh my
really
God, Margie.
fucking, what is it called? Like she's just upstaging
It's called
everyone.
victim bullshit is what
Yes.
it's called.
But it's that plausible deniability thing of like, no, I wasn't. I was just being quiet. But you were being quiet so loud that everyone noticed, and it changed the mood of the whole fucking space. Fuck you. That is a deliberate kind of quiet that's pouty and shitty and punitive and lame. I hate it.
Hate it. Hated it.
But I loved Angie's cousin, Michaelis. He's so cute. They meet him for lunch, and they all sit down at this long table for like another gorgeous meal in Greece. For Christ's sake, that place just, every venue they went to was more beautiful than the last. Michaelis tells stories of Angie's family history in Greece. And these are like literal war stories. And then, Angie tells stories of her mother being so scared for her life that she had to sit still and quiet Anne Frank style in a basement so that she wasn't found by soldiers and murdered. And Meredith is just sitting at the end of the table, sighing and shifting and in her sunglasses and pouting and just being like a real aggressive, quiet bitch.
My God, dude.
It was so
Seriously.
rude. I wanted to punch her.
Same.
Because this sweet man got on a ferry to come over and have lunch with you. And Meredith can't get out of her own fucking
Nope.
bullshit for
Her
5 minutes.
self-obsession. Her self-obsession and self-centeredness.
Yes.
Yep. No,
So mad about it.
She's willfully placed herself firmly in that chair. So Angie wishes she knew more about her mother's side of the family, and Michaelis promises to take her and her daughter Electra to see where her mother's family is from. And I believe that he will do that.
I do too.
Oh my God. In the Sprinter van on the way back from this lunch, I wanted to throw something at the television. Meredith and Lisa are sitting in the far back of the Sprinter. Meredith turns to Lisa and says, I don't know why I'm here. I'm speechless. I literally was just rendered speechless. I don't know what else I have to add.
I'm so sorry that
to
you're
other
on
than-
an all
Yeah.
expenses trade vacation in Greece in a beautiful Sprinter van coming to and from beautiful locations to be waited on and entertained. And I'm so sorry. I don't know why you're there either. What a nightmare. What a nightmare, Meredith. What a hard life you're living. And for Lisa to not object was just like you said, you're right. They're mirrors of each other. They're just sitting there
They absolutely are.
supporting each other's bullshit.
Does she really think that her energy in this entire outing, since probably before they got on that fucking van, has it been an invitation to engage with her? It hasn't been. Jesus fucking Christ.
No, she's intentionally trying to ruin their
Yes.
time, like she did at the first lunch they had in Greece. Remember when she stormed off in her miniskirt
Yep.
and came back and told Giorgio or whoever that sweet man was hosting the lunch, like, these women are
Oh my
mean
God.
to me. And it's like, as you sit on a cliffside in Santorini being waited on by the kindest man on the planet, I can't feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
You, as they say, you manufacture your own misery, Meredith.
Well, that's what I was just going to say is that, I'm not just saying this as a bystander. I am saying this stuff as someone who has also made a choice similar to Meredith. If I have been in a particularly low, and when I say low, I imagine that Meredith is in something like a shame spiral. I don't know if that's what she would call it, but I know that when I have been in a shame spiral in the past, like this hasn't happened for a very long time, but like there's something I don't know if she knows this. It's because I've been in therapy for goddamn so fucking long. But I guess if I don't, I don't want to fucking live like Meredith. So that's why I keep going back, goddamn it. But it doesn't feel good to sit in misery. I know in my soul, if I do that now, that it's my choice. I've had it lovingly pointed out to me. I've had regrets looking back at those choices. I've pointed it out to myself. It feels terrible. It's humbling, but it's a choice, and I hate that, but it's the truth. And Meredith is choosing her misery right now. She's absolutely sitting there by her own agency.
Yeah. And, we saw her in a previous episode choose joy when she was in a horrible mood and then came out to the pool and had the best time and entertained everyone. And it's really clear what she can choose. But I think Meredith knows she's caught. I think she knows she's busted. She wouldn't have asked Bronwyn what happened at that lunch if she wasn't sure of what happened at that lunch.
She's obsessed. She's in a major obsession.
And she's right. She is busted. The jig is up, dude. So you can keep doing recon and recruiting Lisa to have your back, but it's
God.
over. Everyone knows, and that's it. So I think she's trying to get ahead of it by obviously leaning into being a victim in any way she fucking can. It's so annoying. And everyone asks, what's wrong, Meredith? And Meredith is, silent behind her sunglasses. So Bronwyn tells the van that Meredith is having attitude because of the confrontation they had earlier today. And Meredith claims there's a sticking point because Bronwyn thinks Meredith was pumping her for information about that lunch. And Bronwyn says, well, I wouldn't have said a thing about you summoning me to your room at 2 a.m. to pump me for information about this lunch if it had been the first time that you had used me to gather information on these women and turn it against them. And Bronwyn is, like you said, at her wit's end. And she's like, she started to try to gaslight the fucking shit out of me. That's the nicest way I can say it. And then Meredith gets all grumpy. Well, this is a load of shit.
Damn, dude. And then Bronwyn gets progressively pissed. Again, this is all textbook pattern.
And the alcoholic or the addict loves to see you fly off the handle because then you look crazy. And they're just sitting,
crazy.
I'm here with my hands in my lap and look at you.
And my voice isn't even raising. Manipulation is the name of the goddamn game. So Bronwyn is pissed. She says she's not lying. All of this happened. She tells Meredith, I'm not fucking dealing with Ms. Marks, Esquire. I'm trying to deal with a friend. I want to be friends with you. I've stood up for you. I've fucked other relationships for you, which is on me, which I love that she said that.
Me too.
She is not a victim.
Even in the moment,
Yep,
She's
exactly.
Like,
Even in the moment.
On my side of the street.
Right. Whereas I don't want to sidebar for a very long time. I just want to point this out. Lisa and Meredith don't do this. They don't ever start a justifiable rant about somebody else's behavior and then insert their own, my part in this is I've stood up for you, that I fucked up with the relationships. That's on me. They don't do that. That's the difference between some of these cast members from those two offenders, okay? I love that Bronwyn did that. So I fucked other relationships with this on me, but how much more do I have to bleed out for you before you stop fucking me with other people? And I'm exactly fucking right, and you're quiet for once without any legalese behind it because you know it's true. Fuck it, Meredith. And that is the energy that you are pushed to as someone trying to have a conversation with someone like Meredith.
And that whole thing of how much more do I have to bleed out for you before you stop fucking me with other people is for me the crux of every relationship I've ever had with an alcoholic. Of I love you, and so I will do anything for you, and you know that. And you don't do shit for me. And in fact, you ruin You ruin shit for me. Like, how can this be? And again, it's not them. It's people in active addiction are not in their right fucking minds. They're ill and untreated. But man, Bronwyn really brought it home. And the whole van
She
goes
really did.
quiet because they all agree with Bronwyn, you know?
Yeah.
So there's nothing to say. And even Lisa wasn't like, no, come on. Everyone was like, yeah,
Yep.
this is bad.
I mean, this could be a dinner table conversation between the people sitting around the table with the alcoholic, the family sitting there like there's two people having conflict, the alcoholic and my other family member, and we're just going to sit here and watch with our big eyes and everything's going to be quiet. Terrifying.
The editor must have come from an alcoholic household because there's this huge outburst where she's like, fuck you, Meredith, fuck it. The van is silent. They return to the villa and everyone's like, so we'll meet in an hour, dress for dinner, dress chic because it's a play. And I was like, it was like so reminiscent of that dynamic of like, and now that's over. And so we move on to what's fun,
Yep.
right, guys?
Yep.
Let's not talk about what just happened. So that's, yeah.
Dang. Whew.
And then we head into a series of confessionals where everyone's just kind of anticipating this play, Angie hoping it will be an eye-opener for everyone. And Heather,
Dude, she has no right.
what is she
She has
talking
no
about?
right to say this. I don't know what the fuck she's saying.
Why does she hate Bronwyn again? She says, I think Bronwyn's stories are like 1 foot on the bullshit bin and 1 foot on a banana peel. But clearly this exchange occurred at 2:30 a.m., which makes me think Meredith is a sneaky, sneaky Fred. It's like, thanks for, again, nothing, Heather.
Thanks for nothing,
Go on, girl.
Heather.
Give us nothing. That is her fucking motto for the season.
Not even close to an accurate read of what I don't think the energy that Bronwyn was in. I
No,
really
and
don't.
exactly what Stella
Bullshit
points out
bin.
later, which is like, thank you for trying to make jokes to be a part of actual real life. Like it's so
Right.
at a certain point, it's grating. It's like, say something honest or real for once, or just shut the fuck up. Because like you make no sense and you're not funny. So this is weird. It's just weird.
So Whitney says, with what everyone has told Stella, are we ready to deal with this play? Are we ready to deal with this? And Lisa says she just looks at herself and she doesn't even know she's fucking lying to us and herself, most of all. Lisa says, I know who I am. They can all think whatever. Okay. Okay. All right.
Oh my God.
I'm super up my image's ass, but let them think whatever. I'm going to carefully curate every goddamn thing about me, but you think whatever you want about me. Repugnant.
Ridiculous. So it is their last night in Greece and they all exit the villa to this like, again, gorgeous Santorini sunset. And then they arrive at the play venue, which appears to be some old ruins of some sort. And Mary says it looks like a haunted house. And this made me laugh. There's a buffet dinner set up for them. And Brittany goes, do we serve ourselves or... And Mary's behind her and just like rolls her eyes to the camera. Like this woman is so helpless and ridiculous.
Margie, it's like she had this like entitled tinge of passive aggressiveness. Like, oh, so we just serve ourselves. And then she picks up the wine. Oh, it's screw top. I was all, oh. I'm sorry. You don't get it both ways, ma'am. You don't get to last season get pissed off at who brought, was it Angie that brought the bottle of wine to the like Mormon gathering or whatever at Brittany's house? Then she got all pissed off because
Maybe,
well, you
yeah.
don't bring wine to my house. She's like, bitch, I've seen you drink wine. A, fuck you for that. B, fuck you for dissing on a screw top fucking bottle of wine. I don't know if she remembers how screw top bottles of wine came to be, but wasn't there like a significant cork shortage about 20,
and also,
25 years ago?
Where is your cast trip to some gorgeous locale
Right?
where you've had an incredible time? Like, what are you talking about? Like, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, you asshole. Drink your wine.
Yeah.
And saying like, do we serve ourselves while everyone else has plates full of food that they're eating because they served themselves was also a very weird choice. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get a personal butler for you to like put a chicken leg on a plate, you
What the
dickbag.
fuck? God.
God.
I just can't. I can't imagine. Anyway, I'm just, listen, I don't really, I'm not really compelled to drink wine, but all I have to say is that screw top doesn't mean it's bad. You ingrate, unsophisticated cretin. God bless.
And even if it is bad, you've spent a week in Santorini
Yeah, I
on
get a grip,
someone
man.
else's dime. You're about to be entertained. There is food for you to eat. Like, shut up or don't come. If you are this ungrateful, then this is not the trip for you, ma'am.
She's a child.
She is a child.
You know
You're
what?
right.
That's insulting to children. Leo would never be like, that's a screw top bottle of sparkling cider. I have to serve myself. He's like, fuck yeah, I get to serve myself. Get off my back, Mom.
I mean, she is a lady baby.
She is. God bless.
Mary is feeling suspicious of this whole situation. Heather says she's feeling excited and does like some weird dance move, which I didn't get. And Angie said she wanted people to dress up for this very special occasion of a play being written and performed in their honor about their lives. And Mary is not having it. And she says, another wasted outfit. And Heather tells us that she's pretty sure this play is going to be a Greek tragedy. I guess Mary was talking about she's ridden a donkey and now she's like in ruins to sit in a wood chair and watch a play, but whatever. She doesn't get it. Heather says, I'm pretty sure this play is going to be a Greek tragedy. Stella didn't strike me as the comedy type. Thank you, clown.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Sorry, Heather. Sorry that there's all kinds. And she's a Greek fucking playwright.
Yeah. And again, sorry someone made something special for you.
Yeah,
sorry.
dude.
I'm sorry everything's such a joke. It's one of my least favorite attitudes where people are like, too cool, everything's stupid. That's a choice too.
She's coping. I'm going to project real hard right now, but she's real fucking scared.
Well, Stella points it out in the goddamn play and she calls it out perfectly.
And so she's just like, she's got to use her coping skills of putting something down or making it a joke so that she can tamp down her fear around what her castmates said about her. Sorry, no shit, Sherlock. I know.
No. And Angie's so earnest. I really love her. And she hands out these color-coded, what is it called? Medilla?
Is
It's a
double
Greek
L
word
pronounced
for
Y in
I don't
Greek
remember.
as well as Spanish? Okay,
I wrote it down thinking I would remember, and of course I don't. But there are these colorful head wraps that the women wrap around their heads to identify who is portraying each of them in the play. So the actor who is playing them on stage is also wearing the same headpiece so everyone can know who everyone is. And then the play begins, and it's very dramatic, lots of dramatic music. A narrator and a silent Greek chorus take the stage. And as we said before, they're all wearing these like white robes and white masks and then their character color-coded scarves. And it's immediately a very somber, serious vibe in the space. And the narrator starts us off by saying, behold the daughters, 8 born of one house. They call themselves the Sisters of Salt. They are at war because of something whispered. Gossip grows like mold in this family. And then I think my favorite moment of the whole thing was the narrator starts going character by character through the cast. And she starts by saying, Lisa, one of the eldest.
Oh. That probably cut her to the core, and it shouldn't. And it's not entirely her fault if she did. Again, I'm sorry to bring the lessons in, but it's the truth. White supremacy, capitalism, misogyny, internalized misogyny. We've all been indoctrinated to judge ourselves about aging against our will. I get it. But because she's petty and I have petty parts too, I got too much joy hearing this than I should have.
I giggled. Like with this whole somber mood set, I was like, oh, like.
The one issue I had when Stella wrote and the narrator said the world saw elegance and grace, I think she was saying like, yeah, when this show came out, everyone was introduced to these people and they saw elegance and grace. And I was like, is the elegance and the grace in the fucking ruined theater with us now? Because elegance and grace are not words that I would even scrape the bottom of the barrel to describe this cast in particular. Nobody is elegant. Nobody is graceful.
I think they all think they present themselves that way, but Stella's about to absolutely read them for filth.
Yeah,
so
it's amazing.
Yeah.
The narrator says Lisa, one of the eldest, summoned them for a challenge dressed as peace, asking if they say something honest about the sister next to them. When did she do this? Did she do this on the yacht?
I think this is just sort of the staging for the play.
I see.
So she
Okay.
goes, Lisa turns to Heather and calls her the deflector who laughs loudly. And Mary addresses Heather in the play, saying, Heather, you are a joke wrapped in mascara, which was the funniest line of this play. And she says, you act like nothing touches you, but everything does. You laugh because crying would make you real. You hide behind your humor, but behind every joke is a shadow, a demon you're too scared to say out loud, which is why I'm a comedy writer. And then we get a flashback to the Sprinter van where the women are asking Heather about her dating life, and she's doing exactly what Stella has said. She's deflecting, going like, I can have a spark with anyone. Ha, ha, ha. You know, the women are asking like, are you sleeping with someone? Are you interested in someone? And is there a spark with anyone? And Heather just fucking yuck arm farts and keeps it moving. So she doesn't share shit about herself.
Exactly what you've said months ago about her. Like,
I'm still mad about it.
Yeah. Yes, I validate you, friend. I validate you.
Give us something besides your giant veneers, lady. The read on Bronwyn is, you're not two-faced, you're no-faced. You want to be trusted, but you treat loyalty like a party favor, cheap and easy to toss. You collect secrets like trinkets, trading them with sisters under the guise of concern, but always leaving damage in your wake, which Bronwyn, we later find out, really takes to heart. And then the read on Lisa is that Lisa wears wealth like a shield. You carry yourself like a queen among servants, speaking to us not as sisters, but as women forever beneath your marble pedestal.
Nailed it.
Yep. And then she says, if only you were capable of an apology, but humility is the only thing you can never afford. So basically dooming her to a life of being elitist cunt. And then the read on Angie is pretty mild. She has daggers beneath her tongue. And we have a little flashback to Bronwyn telling Stella, when she loves you. And when she hates you, run. It's not that deep. Brittany, oh my God, it starts out light. The read on Brittany is that your words sound like childish noise, but worse than all, you cling to the attention of men like it's your lifeline. So consumed by a man's attention that you barely notice your children fading quietly into the background. Yikes. And correct.
That was dang, bruh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
but true.
Yeah. And Mary's really like spoke to me. You know, the read on Mary is, you speak with a blade sharpened by truth. You must learn that even the righteous must bend, for without forgiveness, your conviction becomes a cage. And I feel like that part, without forgiveness, your conviction becomes a cage, is words spoken directly to one Margie McGee. Because I am so attached to what is just, and I isolate myself from regular people because of it. And I'm in a cage of my own, like, until there's justice, there can be no Margie. And that's bullshit, because that's not how the world works.
I mean, I've talked about that so many times today already. Like, before we jumped on, I had therapy, and I was like telling them like how triggered I am right now by people getting something like over on me, you know? And I have grudges right now. And who's being damaged by it? Me. Without forgiveness, without acceptance, my conviction becomes a cage. I am in the cage. Well, not so much after I talked about it, and not so much after we started recording. I feel much better now. But it's like, isn't that always how it is? A gathering of two or more. My point is that, yeah, man, I'm in a fucking cage of my own making because I can't accept or forgive. I can't forgive without accepting, personally.
Yeah, they're like one and the same. And again, my favorite definition of forgiveness is giving up hope for a better past.
Oh, shit.
It doesn't mean like, you know what, it's okay that they got away with that. It's not that. It's just like, I'm done pretending like there's a way that this could have been different.
Right.
It is. So acceptance and forgiveness are essentially synonymous. But anyway,
Okay.
Stella fucking blew me back with that. So thank you,
Girl.
Stella.
Yes.
And then it's Whitney's turn. The read on Whitney is, we feel compelled to dismiss you as shallow, a flirt, a body without a mind. If you want to be more than decoration at their table, you must speak up. Fine.
So who the fuck was describing Whitney like this? Like, I know that they know her better than I do and better than we all do, but like, I mean, she's the one with the jokes and the, you know, the Etsy creators that make the ornaments that say like, I'm on a healing journey. Like, she does cause waves on this show and in this cast dynamic for the fact that she does talk a lot and she does speak up.
Yeah, and we got all those flashbacks of her yelling and, you know, like, I think they just don't take her seriously, but I don't know what the instruction is. She does have that high voice. You can't really change that. So if these women don't take you seriously, the move should be to like, go find people who do take you seriously. So this ain't your community, honey.
You know, she's sex positive. She's not going to make apologies for how she dresses or how she lives. And I admire that about her. I was shocked that the there was such a wild disconnect from what seems to be reality on behalf of her cast. I don't understand how they could describe her like that.
I think they all look at her as the dits. You know what I mean? Like if this was a boy band and you had to assign each of them, like the cute one, the thinker, the blah, blah, blah,
Too
she'd get the
bad.
dits. She's the Spice Girl. She's Baby Spice. You know, it's fine. So then it's Meredith's turn. And her read is, Meredith, you hide behind your semantics, twisting language to dodge blame. Arguing with you is like shouting into a maze, and your behavior is unpredictable. And then we get this dramatic ending where all the sisters raise their glass in a toast and they drink the truth like poison, and then they all die. And now the house is quiet, stripped of the only voices that ever truly knew them. And the truth was then revealed. You are no one without your sisters, which I thought was kind of like a really fucking ham-fisted way to try to make something nice out of just like a big reading room. So, okay, Stella.
The women stand and applaud as the narrator and the chorus exit the stage. And Heather says, I mean, they nailed it. We think we're so good at projecting this image, but if we can't be vulnerable and real with each other, we're wasting our friendships. Exactly. That's
Thank you,
exactly what
Heather.
you're doing. And Angie says, your sisters help make you who you are. That's what I took from it. And Meredith says, of course, you can't have anything in life without the people around you who you love. That's what life is. There's nothing else.
But she says it in that, again, she's a fucking addict trying to control the room. She goes, of course, you can't have anything in life without the people around you who you love. That's what life is. There is nothing else. Like she's trying to be all fucking poignant and ridiculous. And then Heather, thank God, says maybe we should just give up the game and be real with each other. And again, Bronwyn, thank God, is tired of everyone talking in all these generalities and coded language. And she goes, well, I was horrified by what I saw. I had tears pouring down my face watching that, not just for myself, but for all of us, because I saw a lot of truth in how they portrayed me. And I know that came from your truths. I have a lot of work to do. I have a deep issue of not feeling people are loyal to me. And a big part of that is because I'm not loyal to other people, or I don't know how to be. I don't get it and I don't give it. And I thought that was such like a self-possessed assessment of your own damage. And like any therapist would delight in having her walk into their office because she's like, here's what's wrong. I want to be loyal. I don't know how to be. I don't know how to inspire it from other people. Help.
Bronwyn is so fascinating to me. Her skin is so fucking beautiful. Oh my God. Luminous.
so
Every
dewy.
single
Oh
shot
my
in this
God.
episode, I was like, your skin is amazing. I love it. But I thought she was being a little, first of all, I acknowledge and am inspired by and also love that energy she was anchored into. Like that was humility. I did think she was a little hard on herself. I'm not loyal to other people, or I don't know how to be. I don't get it and I don't give it. I think she's more loyal than she thinks.
Which Mary comforts her with at the end. She doesn't see that in herself. You know, and she says in her confessional, I view my past as one long who's list of people who have let me down in a loyalty way. It's why I want it so bad, but I don't know what it looks like. So it's never been modeled for her properly. And so she's chasing something that's just a shadow.
Yeah.
So she's taking stabs at it, but she gets specific saying that her parents put their shame and embarrassment about her out of wedlock pregnancy ahead of how much they cared about her. It was more important that they publicly shame her for the church's pleasure than to embrace their daughter and her adorable child. And then Bronwyn, through tears, says, even Todd, who I love and choose to be with and I'm working things out with, has been disloyal to me. And then she tells the group, I'm a big girl. It's not anyone else's fault anymore. I have to figure that out. And I was like, oh,
God.
she's amazing.
That's when you should have said exeunt.
Yeah, right?
End scene. Yes. That was all you can ask for
Yeah.
from a housewife is what Bronwyn just did. That's all you can ask for. It had
It's
everything.
more thoughtful than any housewife and spontaneously thoughtful. This wasn't planned out for a confessional months after the fact. Like in the moment, she was like, shit, that really affected me because I don't really know what loyalty is and I'm not giving it great and I have a lot to work on. Who's next?
Ugh. And so we go from there to fucking Lisa. We go from there to Lisa's observation of what she saw about herself. She said she felt sad by the portrayal of her, and she explains to her castmates that her possessions are markers of accomplishments and rewards she gives herself for all of her hard work. I already said how I feel about that at the beginning of the episode. She had a lot of pressure put on her to take care of her sisters growing up, and it has led to a lifetime of her putting pressure on herself. I have a lot to prove to myself. I put a lot on my plate, even with John. I think it's a lot for him. There's a lot of expectation for me because of who I am. I'm constantly, probably disappointed in myself. I wish I could buy this. I wish I could buy any of it. And I don't believe anything that comes out of this woman's fucking mouth. I don't believe her tears. I don't believe shit. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I like did in the moment, like I said, but then shortly after when she races to Meredith's side and starts being a shit to everyone else, I was like, I don't know. But what I did think was interesting was, so she's weeping and being vulnerable, and Heather and Angie immediately rally behind her, and they both recommit their friendship to her. And Meredith sees how well Lisa's confession is panned out for her. So she tries to piggyback by literally out loud drawing a parallel between Lisa's successful tack on this. She says, Lisa hides behind her possessions and I hide behind my words. And then she launches into the most cringy, ridiculous, over-the-top, Oscar clip caliber, teary monologue that starts,
oh my God,
you know,
so embarrassing.
I was trained to use words carefully, cautiously. They hold meaning. And she goes on and fucking on crying. We don't see Meredith cry. It's such bullshit. It was shocking. And it's so insincere and nobody's buying it. And Meredith continues on saying, I don't like being told that I did something that I didn't. It hurts me. And I'm afraid of betrayal. I've been betrayed many times by a lot of people. And now she's sobbing. And I'm afraid of letting people in. I'm afraid. And now it's clear to everyone that this is just more of a self-serving character defense for the cameras. And everyone's basically over it. And Heather calls her out saying, Meredith is a powerhouse. She's not a docile mouth who's been victimized by all of us. She has a lot of power moves, which have even surprised me. And Meredith instantly stops crying and starts making threats. All this vulnerability is dead. Meredith pissed me off so bad in this. Like, you should probably take over because I'll just scream about how much of an addict she's proving herself to be and how out of control and disrespectful and disgusting this behavior is.
Like you said, she's on to the next phase of addict behavior, annihilation of everyone who won't bend to her bullshit. So she crosses her arms and goes dead behind the eyes, and she's ready for war. My God, just surrender, man.
Immediately on the heels of, I'm afraid. You're not a victim. And she's like, dead, arms crossed, dead behind the eyes. Fuck you, what? It's like, oh, that's terrifying. So nothing you do is real. All of this is just... You're just tacking the boat to try and catch a stronger wind, you dick.
So Heather, thank God, says, like this thing with you and Bronwyn that hijacked the whole day. Thank you. I'm glad because I'm sure Meredith doesn't see it like that. She does not see that her fucking mood hijacked the whole goddamn day. Heather said, you kiki with her at 2 a.m.? This is the third time you've gotten information from her and then flipped it. It was weird. And Meredith said, oh my God, my chest just tightened up. You know, my therapists are always like, where do you feel it, Ramona? Where is it in your body? What in your body is getting your attention? I'm enraged. She says, this is why I don't open up. I try to open up and I just get berated. Bitch, that's not what's happening. It's not what's happening. I don't know what to do with you anymore.
It's
Via
so crazy.
motherfucking cone, Dios.
Truly.
Meredith, abandon hope ye all who enter here. I don't know, man. I don't know.
So we've already had Oscar crying, I'm afraid, cut to, dead behind the eyes, fuck you. And now she's a victim. And then Whitney says, it sure does seem like Meredith was really concerned with what was talked about at lunch between Bronwyn, Whitney, and Mary. And now Meredith screams, I don't care. Okay, so we've had crying, dead behind the eyes, victim, and screaming. And that is in her sequential 4 lines of dialogue. She's out of fucking control. This is not normal. For anyone who's confused, if you're fucking this emotionally all over the place, you are dysregulated at best.
If anybody is confused, that's hilarious. Jesus. So Meredith tries crying again. I do feel like I'm yelled at and screamed at every time I try to open up. And Heather says, it's not true. Trying to reason with an alcoholic, FYI, or an addict is fucking pointless. Mm-hmm. It is an exercise in futility. It's just not possible. And so Meredith storms off.
For the first time. She has a
Yes.
few of these, okay? Which is also just so classic fucking addict
Oh,
behavior.
God.
And then this is where I did love Mary because she hits her breaking point with everyone dancing around the real issue of Meredith's obvious escalating erratic behavior and likely addiction. And Mary knows that the stakes here are life and death. So, like, she's like, what are we doing? Why are we here if we're not friends? I don't hide behind a mask. I don't live my life like that. We are all big grown adults, big old overgrown women. We should act like it. We're mothers, we're wives, we're leaders, we're bosses. So, and we can't even tell Meredith we feel like something's wrong. I feel like that was the point. And Mary says she's spiraling out. You can't tell her that. And then Heather needs to go to Al-Anon because she says, we also love her and don't want to hurt her. And Mary, who clearly has been to Al-Anon, says, then you tell her that too. All of these things can coexist. The truth is inclusive of love and she's spiraling out of control.
Yep. Yep.
And she says, somebody tell the girl we're worried about her. Tell her we care that something's wrong. And then here comes Meredith, now self-righteous, storming in like a lawyer in the closing scene of some like law procedural. I have one question. What's the goal?
Jesus Christ.
And Mary just lays it out. We're concerned about you. We feel like you're spiraling and we're all worried. We're all concerned. You want to know what we talked about at lunch? That's what we talked about. They all think it, and I think it too. I'm concerned. I hope you're okay. And then Mary starts crying and says, I don't think you're okay. And Meredith is now cold as ice, which is another familiar tactic. She goes, okay, well, I am okay. Again, the insinuation is, so you're crazy because
Yep.
you're crying. So
Yep.
that you're insane. You're hysterical. And Mary just says, no, you're not okay. You're not okay, Meredith. Your behavior's not normal. Your friends are telling you that. We all think it. And then Meredith takes a patronizing, condescending tone and she goes, my behavior is fine. I've heard enough. I've heard the whole story. So I will relieve you. Martyring
So I will
her ass.
disengage. I will meme myself like I did in the first fucking season that you were introduced to me. Dude.
And this is the shit that makes me crazy because everyone is saying, we care about you. We're worried about you. And she goes, oh, well, then I will relieve you from my presence that's
Yeah,
bothering
dude.
you. So it's like, you're not listening. We're telling you we love you, you fuck. So like, whatever. She storms off again or starts to. And now this is becoming a full-fledged intervention where everyone starts speaking up and saying like, your behavior is affecting me in the following ways. And Mary says, we're concerned about you. You are committed to being angry. You're committed to being sad. And then Meredith denies being angry, even though she's just been yelling throughout the scene. And then she cops to only the most sympathetic charges leveled against her of being sad and sensitive. And now she cries again. So we're full circle. She just stormed off and now we're crying again. And this was crazy. She goes, I have goals. I want to leave this world in a better place than I came into it. And so I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. And I was like, what the fuck? Talk about spiraling out. Like, where are we right now? What the fuck are you talking about? You're insane.
She's in the Twilight Zone. She's exactly where you live when you are dealing with an addict or you're the addict yourself. She's in the Twilight Zone.
No
It is
one's
a
talking
terrible
about
place
your
to be.
goals and leaving the world. We're talking about you went fucking ham on an airplane and
Yeah.
everyone's worried that there's a reason for that. It's not about how you want to leave the world a better place. It's just, she's crazy. And she's not carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. If she was, she wouldn't be in Santorini. She'd be doing some shit to make the world a better place.
Instead, she's opening a caviar lounge. Like, okay, make that
Oh my
world a better
God,
place.
you're so
One
right.
sturgeon at a time. Isn't that where caviar comes from? A sturgeon? I don't know shit about fish, so
I think that's right.
okay.
Or at least some of it. Some caviar comes from sturgeon.
Sorry to those sturgeon.
And this is my commentary. I just wrote that Mary is a better person than me because I would have rolled my eyes and told Meredith to fuck off. But Mary gets up and approaches her to comfort her and physically touches her to impress upon her how this is all coming from a place of genuine love and concern. And Meredith says, I'm fine. And for you to all question me that I'm not okay. And Mary just keeps repeating, you're not okay, Meredith. You're not. And this is where it's getting real intervention-y. And boy, they need an interventionist because it doesn't work out. Whitney then takes the mantle and explains to Meredith that her behavior reminds her of her father's emotional outbursts when he was in his addiction. And then Bronwyn projects her own interesting story onto Meredith.
Mm-hmm. She says, she suggests to Meredith that she let down her guard and get honest with her friends. And she senses Meredith is hiding a lot about her marriage in particular and wants her to feel like she can unburden herself with the women. And Bronwyn weeps, explaining that she too gets defensive when something so important to her, like her own marriage, might not work out. So yes, projecting, but also like making it easy. Like all of these women are giving Meredith a soft place to land right now.
They're all extending a hand
They're all
as close to her as
inviting
it can
her
get. Yes.
to break. Like, it's okay. You know, and I don't want to say it is a safe space because this is not, I don't know about it. I would call
Wasn't
it
it
that.
the Real Housewives of Miami where someone said, oh, there is no safe space in this cast?
Yes, it was Marisol said it to Stephanie.
Right.
Right? Isn't that woman's name, Stephanie?
Yep.
She's coming back for season 2, FYI. So
I'm into it. She's a great cast member, not a great person.
I'll see what
but a
happens.
great
Yeah,
cast
second
member.
season slump. We'll see what happens. So Meredith goes dead behind the eyes after Bronwyn says this and says, "My marriage is the strongest it's ever been." Sure, Jan.gif.
Honestly,
All right.
like if you're gonna say something believable, say like my marriage is fine. Don't go to this extreme place of it's the strongest it's ever been because
Then Bronwyn says, and she changes her whole voice and whole demeanor. Like, listen, sister, lean in because I have some bad news for you. This is grave, what I'm about to say. So Bronwyn says, Meredith, Todd and I were having dinner in New York and I saw Seth. I don't know who Seth was with. And Meredith storms off after hearing this. And Lisa comes for Bronwyn. Heather chases down Meredith. And Meredith is defensive and condemning and patronizing. I'm a happy woman in a happy marriage with a wonderful family. My physical health is fine. My mental health is fine. I don't drink very much. I don't use drugs. And my husband is loyal to me. And I am loyal to my husband. I don't know what your problems are, but don't create them for me because I have a really good life.
I mean, again, cut to the rest of this scene where she's carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders and she's sad and she hates everyone. Like, what's true? Nothing is true. Everything's insane. Meredith then storms off. Again, this is storm off number 3 or so. And in a confessional, Meredith says, again, classic addict behavior of trying to redirect the focus to everyone else. I drink less than most of the women. I don't do drugs. And I'm really tired of this. And then she projects and deflects, saying, let me start counting their drinks and the multitude of pills in Britney's pill bottle and the pills I've seen Heather and Whitney take. And then she makes a threat, saying, stop with your smear campaign or I will start telling the truth. And this, again, this whole scene encapsulates everything an alcoholic is capable of when they're cornered. They're a fucking feral animal and they will destroy you. And they don't care. No matter how much you tell them you love them, no matter how much you actually love them, and no matter how much they know that to be true, they will destroy you. And she's basically just laying the gauntlet here, saying like, go ahead and say whatever you want and I will do it tenfold and I'm a lawyer, so I'll fucking ruin you. And believe her, guys. She fucking will.
So Lisa goes to Meredith as Whitney tries to talk to her. And Lisa tells Whitney, you're not safe for her. And Mary tells Bronwyn, you know what? You're a really good friend to Meredith. And you do have great loyalty. Look how you stood by Todd. And it's true. And she doesn't actually write people off. Like, she gives people the benefit of the doubt. So she is living with that bitch called Hope.
Yes.
I'm glad that it was reiterated, what I said earlier. I think she was being too hard on herself when she was painting herself that way. So in her confessional, Bronwyn says, she tearfully tells us that there was a time on the trip when she was really worried about Meredith. And she says, but I've realized that looking perfect and taking no accountability is more important to her than being friends with any of us. And friendship has to be a two-way street. And if she can't talk to us, then she should walk.
That broke my heart because I think that's the truth of being in a relationship with an alcoholic is looking perfect and taking no accountability is more important than a human being. And that's just true. That's just a fucking fact. And it's so hard to accept that. How can that be anyone's reality? How can that be true? And that is why I go to Al-Anon and it's therapy.
It's why that she and Lisa are bonded the way they are. They are two peas in a pod. So Lisa consoles Meredith as she calls an Uber. Oh my God, calling an Uber in fucking Santorini.
I know.
Idiot. Just
But
get
I
in the
love
fucking
this.
van, nut up.
They're like, Lisa and Meredith are bitching about everyone, and Heather screams from across the patio, just go, we can hear you. We're toxic. We're assholes. And Lisa goes, I didn't say asshole.
Oh, she's so
I
annoying.
was like, oh my God, you're such an asshole. And Heather tells them, both of them, Lisa and Meredith, to walk away or come back and solve this. And she explains to Lisa, you're as much a part of this as Meredith. You chose Meredith. You've drawn a line in the sand. It's you two versus the world. And that seems to be where we leave it. Then we do have all their jokey closing check-ins, but I didn't even write them down because I was offended, honestly. After like an intervention scene to be like, oh, Heather's mattress is still pristine. I was like, this isn't what I fucking came for.
God,
The only
dude.
one that had any impact was Mary, who is prayerfully hoping for Robert Jr. to, quote, find his way. And that is a journey. And that's the end of the season, baby.
Dang. I really wish that they had, I mean, I know that they already recorded the reunion. I don't know if Andy got an advance copy of the Mary cult documentary before, but I can't imagine that she's going to be asked about this on this reunion because it didn't air until after they recorded it. So the documentary didn't air. I think that's really unfortunate. And I wonder if Mary will come back next season. But I do think that, you know, she was contacted. You know, in the documentary, it says, you know, we reached out to Mary and Robert Sr. to see if they would comment, and they both declined. So, like, she knew this was coming. I am not convinced that this season was not an image rehab opportunity for Mary. And I also understand that because of what she is going through with Robert Jr., her son,
Dude.
I know, what's the word for not very willfully? I begrudgingly acknowledge that both of those things can exist at the same time. Okay?
Yeah.
But I am very disturbed.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I've certainly not heard anything good about her.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like that church was built on a foundation of like up and up. You know, if people are marrying step grandfathers to keep
dude.
money in the family, like it's just getting a little weird for my
It's so
taste for a
weird.
church.
It's so
you know,
weird.
Okay.
Yes. Friend, what else did you watch over our break?
Oh my God, I watched so much. You know, I watched the most recent season of Alone, which I'd missed because I had a very crazy busy summer and fall, and a whole new Alone series came out, and it was set in the African desert, the first time there been anywhere hot. So Alone is where they put survivalists into these really extreme places, and they are actually alone. They videotape themselves. The only thing they can do is survive or tap out, which means they use the satellite phone to call someone to rescue them. And it starts as survivalist shit where they have to find food and build a shelter, blah, blah, blah. Then very quickly it becomes a mental game because you're alone with your thoughts, zero distractions. And this one guy, he's doing great. He caught a fish. He's always wanted to go to Africa. He's in his dream location. He's living a fantasy, but he's depressed and it comes and lands on him. He's sitting outside of his amazing shelter that he's made. He has fish to eat and he just says, depression is real, people. Don't kid yourself. I need help. I need to talk to someone. You can't pretend depression isn't there. It's like pretending you don't have cancer. I've got a lot of work to do and I'm kind of excited to get home and start this next chapter. And he taps out.
Jesus.
And this is a survivalist man. And again, I bet if I knew his politics and anything else about him, I'd hate him. But fucking A, he said this on TV. A burly ass, outdoorsy man says, depression is real, people. Don't kid yourself. And he left early, you know? And I thought that was real fucking cool. So that show is fascinating to me. And then I saw Marty Supreme, which I liken to reality TV because literally nobody in that movie is likable. And yet it's an incredibly compelling watch. So that was good. And then I didn't really watch much else. A lot of football and college football. So that was, I would say Alone and Marty Supreme were the two standouts of the vacay. And how about you? What did you watch?
I watched a lot.
Yeah.
I watched the Potomacs, that episode that aired over break. I watched the entire season of I Love LA. And I was really resistant to watch it. And I had to get honest with myself, which actually didn't take a very long time. Basically, it was like nudging the scab of these very difficult feelings that I have about aging And I love my life now. And it is very different than the life I had in LA before I met my husband and became a mom. Driving a convertible, living in a fucking rent-controlled apartment, huge rent-controlled apartment in Silver Lake, walking the reservoir that they were walking on, going to the cafes that they went to, wearing clothes then that I don't necessarily wear now. And I realized that I didn't want to watch this show because I didn't want to feel the grief on that spectrum of grief. I'm not saying it was intense fucking grief, but it's like, there's grief. There's grief over that. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to live in LA again. And I can't have the life
even if
I
you
had
do,
then.
yeah,
Right.
you won't do it at age 30 or whatever.
Exactly. And so once I acknowledged that I could just watch the show, like once I acknowledged the resistance of why I didn't want to watch it, I loved it. And I thought it was so hilarious. And I'm so pissed it's only 8 episodes and I can't wait for the second season to come out. I thought it was so funny and enjoyable. And I always love an excuse to be in LA on shows, Anyway, I watched the last season of RHONY, the one with Leah and Ebony before they went on the hiatus and they didn't even do the reunion that season. And holy shit, I remember watching it week by week, but binging it or watching a couple episodes in a row. Oh my God, how uncomfortable. It was a torture. It was not a joy, So watched a lot of The Twilight Zone because around New
Ooh,
Year's they have the
yeah.
marathon. Yep. And then, of course, I watched Stranger Things.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you satisfied? I know a lot of people had big feelings about it.
I was, but I'm the only show of this kind of like cultural impact that I've been disappointed with on the series finale was Game of Thrones.
Mm.
I was prepared for the Stranger Things, the fandom to be like, everyone's going to be a hater. No matter what, there's going to be a criticism. I sobbed my fucking eyes out at the series finale. But I gave myself completely to that show. I don't know. I liked it. I enjoyed it and I was there for it and I was happy to be able to participate in the series finale. So lots of good TV. Yeah. And friend, what is your antidepressant right now? I mean, I know there's been quite a bit of time since we last met.
Yes, but my antidepressant is I got to see my niece and nephews in Colorado, and I adore them all the time, no matter what. And for Christmas, they gave me the most thoughtful gift I've ever received in my whole goddamn life. And it is in the dishwasher right now because I use it so regularly. I didn't even have time to clean it before we sat down to record this after using it this morning. My niece and nephews conceived of and designed and produced mugs for you and I, these like thermal giant coffee mugs, because I love coffee and I love giant coffees. And they put our logo on it. And on the back, each one has an individualized quote, things that you and I both say, apparently. And the most thoughtful card from my niece, the most incredible art and execution from my nephews. And like, I just am so delighted by them, not because they're praising us, but because they're so talented and thoughtful and kind and generous and willing to give time and energy to a gift they know will be so well received and appreciated. They chose good people to give great gifts to. And I'm so proud to be their aunt. I just I can't even talk about it. I'll be reduced to tears. So I'll leave it there. Adore them. Adore my mug. Adore this show. Like, it's everything I love in one coffee mug.
Yeah. To piggyback on yours, that's my antidepressant as well. I opened the box that you sent me. I figured it was going to be something from you. And then I didn't recognize the writing on the card. And it was addressed to Mrs. Ramona, which, for those of you who don't know, Margie's nieces and nephews were raised in the South. When I opened the card and started reading it, my heart just burst. I started crying. First of all, the mug is fucking gorgeous. The color blue is stunning. It keeps things hot for so long. That aside, learning that it was hand-traced, hand-etched, your niece thought of the idea, the individual quotes on the back, I was stunned. I still am. It's now my fucking favorite mug. I love it. Clara, that card you wrote to me, I'm going to keep it forever. I'm not even putting the fucking envelope in the goddamn recycling. It was the epitome of thoughtfulness, attention, and care. Thank you, JR, Colin, and Clara, forever and from the bottom of my heart. It was incredible.
Amen, man. Yeah, it was real sweet. During the holidays, I'm so prone to getting caught up in like sales and consumption and gifts and,
Totally.
and all this shit. And I was like, this is it. A card and a mug that I will literally use every goddamn day of my life until it disintegrates in my hands or I'm buried with it. That's what a gift is supposed to be. And it was like kind of a lovely reminder of like, right.
Totally.
This is how you're supposed to feel receiving and giving. Not like, here, I desperately bought you something expensive. It's like, ugh, thanks.
That
This is,
gift
like,
said, I
amazing.
see you. Yeah. Oh my God. It was just
Love
the
it.
loveliest. Jesus. And then my husband had some time off work. Obviously, Leo was home. One of my best friends from San Diego came up to spend New Year's with us, like she does every year. And that was lovely. It was lovely to have lots of days in soft pants, appetizers for dinner. It was just a nice vibe. And the living room was aglow with decorations. And now I'm ready for it to be not back to normal, but it's
Yeah.
good that it happens once a year. It would not be sustainable to live like that month after
No,
month.
and I find something kind of lovely about how like there's all of that stuff at the end of the year and then you pare it all down to start the year and suddenly the space feels like wide open. You know,
Yeah.
it's really weird how just adding like some lights and a tree will make a space feel like cozy but also
Yeah.
shrink it in a weird way. So when it
Yeah.
comes down, it's like, oh, right, there's all this expansive energy available. Right.
Yeah.
So
And I'm very energized and speedy after seeing you and chatting with you for almost 2 hours. So
I know.
I miss this.
Same. Well, we're back, baby. We've got 3 reunions, and then we have a embarrassment of riches to choose from for what we'll cover next. There's everything.
Can't wait.
There's everything. So we'll
Summer
talk
house,
about
man. All right, everybody, take really good care of yourself. And we'll talk next week after the first
We'll talk
reunion
next
airs,
week.
okay?
that. Yeah.
All right, bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Ramona and Margie are obviously not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.